Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, you are watching and listening live to the Angel Rock. I am your host, Lorilei Potvin. We are broadcasting to you guys from 105.3 and 107.7 out of New Orleans, Louisiana. I want to give a shout out to Sandra Sharp. I can see you already. Seems like you found the secondary YouTube channel. I will explain that. A little bit about you guys. If you haven't been here before, welcome. Please check out our whole network. We have a bunch of brand new hosts and shows to whom we are going to be speaking to this evening. And there's something for everybody here. We have all kinds of shows from all walks of life, all around the planet, as well as even our older archive shows. If we're not live, they're playing in the background. Somebody's dingies are going off, so I don't know if they want to turn their dingers off. It's going to keep going off during the show. Anyways, a little bit about myself. I'm a Canadian clairvoyant medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, and spiritual teacher and mentor. I also have a second show on United Public Radio Network, also known as UFO Paranormal Radio Network, or just UPRN, on Thursday nights from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the thing at the foot of the bed with my amazing co-host, David Hansel. Sandra, I know you know him. Hi, William. Nice to see you here. Glad you're here. Okay, so if you guys want to participate in the comments tonight, this is where you need to go. UFO Paranormal Radio, the Facebook page. Now, normally I say that with the YouTube channel, but unfortunately, too much to get into, but we aren't able to use that channel for a week. So we have a secondary channel, which I see Sandra has found. I have links to it all over the place wherever I've promoted the show. It's called UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials. You can go there. I'm streaming also from my own YouTube channel, which is the Angel Rock of Lorilei Potvin. I've never asked people to go there. I just use it as backup. So we may be able to see the comments. Also, we are on Roku. Now, this show is not on Roku tonight, but the thing at the foot of the bed is. So if you want to find Roku, don't have a channel code for you. This is how you're going to find it. You're going to go over to sign into your Roku account, go to the channel store. You're going to type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's going to be a list that's going to come up, and I believe we're about the third or fourth one down, and you're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio. That's where you will find many of our amazing shows and our network channel. So I think I remember to tell you guys everything.
Wow.
Anyways, let me get to our guests. They've been so patiently waiting. I want to read their bio first, and I'm going to introduce them. So we've got Roger Garza Sr. as a psychic medium, located in Baldwin, Wisconsin. Roger received his gift in 2004 after dying from a heart attack and stroke and coming back to life. Since then, he has been helping people around the world with his gift. He has the ability of seeing spirits and communicating with them. Roger is also able to read hands and look inside the human body like an x-ray. If Roger sees a health concern, he always recommends that person follow up with their doctor. It doesn't matter where a person lives in the world, Roger can still help them. In 2017, Roger reconnected with, and after 50 years, his high school sweetheart, Faye Garza, now who we see sitting here. Faye, at the time, was working as a legal assistant at a prominent law firm in Minneapolis. Faye was a bit skeptical at first when Roger announced to her that he was a psychic medium. Then, after a lot of online research and a few readings by him over the phone, Roger being in Texas, Faye in Minnesota, Faye was convinced that Roger was a legitimate psychic medium. After a long distance whirlwind courtship, Faye and Roger got married. Together, they started up a Facebook show from the dining room table, using Roger's cell phone to produce the live stream show, Latino Psychic Visions, which is one of the shows we do have here on the network. And they just soon decided to buy a couple of laptops to more easily produce the live streams. And the show grew quickly in numbers and was watched by viewers all over the world. The second show, This Mug's for You, was soon added on Saturday mornings. This is more a casual, interactive show where viewers join in with their mugs of coffee, tea, or hot cocoa and discuss the topic of the day around a virtual breakfast table. Love that concept. On both shows, in addition to giving a few quick readings, Roger may share a prediction that Spirit suddenly reveals to him. Roger believes that he was given the gift to share no matter what the message may be. His readings come quickly and to the point. His predictions have been proven true time and time again. As to Roger's ability to scan the human body, many people have come back to Roger thanking him for alerting them to a health problem ahead of time, where they received a follow-up with a doctor and received medical attention, and it saved their lives. Not one show is the same, kind of like my shows. And as Roger always says, you never know who will show up on our show. So welcome, Faye and Roger. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
We want to give some shout outs. I forgot to mention, I always involve the audience in my shows. I know you do, because I've met you guys through helping you guys learn. Well, you're learning to live stream on Saturday mornings. And that's the best way, isn't it, to involve, that's why we're doing it, because these people are watching and participating and supporting, right?
Exactly.
Okay, let me give them a quick shout out.
Lorilei, quick, can I say something?
Absolutely.
I got William Garrison. Now, either you're chewing gum or you're eating. I picked it up just like that.
Well, let me say hi to them. Well, hang on. We've got Sandra Sharp, who is a regular supporter of the show. She says hello, Lorilei and guests, and then she put 222. I'm not quite sure what you meant by that, Sandra, but I'm sure you'll let me know. William Garrison, who Roger mentioned, says hello, friends. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And then we've got Joan. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. Joan
McCluskey Bag. She's one of our regulars.
Hello.
Hi, Joni.
Welcome.
Hi, Joni.
Roger's going to take over the show for me tonight.
Yeah, don't let him. Yeah, he might.
So you two have quite the following. Well, like I said too, being a psychic medium myself, I don't do readings on my shows. It's the guests that I have on. On the thing at the foot of the bed, David did want to do, my co-host did what. You know what it is? Okay, I'm going to tell you guys right now. And it may work well for you too, but I used to be involved with a much larger group on Facebook. I used to do teaching and I used to do readings before I ever started podcasting. That's how I know David. Some good things did come out of that group. I've met some amazing friends. But what I was finding, and I can't say the same for you guys, but for myself personally, people just showed up for the free readings. And if I like, there would be about 6 of us back to back that would be teaching and then doing free readings. People didn't want to hear what we had to say. And David concurred finally. He was right. They're just like, tell us what Spirit says. Tell us what Spirit says. And if I had the time, I would try to support, say, the person before me and after. And it was always the same person after asking the same question. I don't know if they were hoping they'd get a different answer. They didn't, right? Roger, you can speak for that, because the Spirit's going to come through. Spirit's going to come through and give you the answer.
Like it is right now for you, but I don't know if I can say it without.
Well, if it's personal, how about you can tell me after the show? If it's not too personal.
It's somebody that I get a name for you.
Okay.
Can I say the name?
Oh, I don't care. Sure, yeah.
Okay, I'm picking up somebody named Rose.
I think I know. Okay, so what I have to tell you guys is Roger picks up, hi Lynn, Fearon. She said hi.
Hi, Lynn.
Good to see you.
Oh, Sandra said 222, by the way. I'll answer that in a second. Roger said 222 popped up on my screen for some odd reason. I love it. Okay, so what I've told Roger is, with being a registered nurse, and I'm no longer able to work physically in that field, I use my nursing every single day. Oh, Rosie's here. Hey, Rosie. She goes, Rose. So what it is I always say we've been deeply blessed to be there at the beginning of life, hundreds of times working in the NICU, maternal, newborn, labor and delivery. Later in my career, I worked out in the community. I did a lot of technical stuff. I set up some teaching programs for nurses to get a diploma in community nursing and what have you. But where I really loved the work was working in palliative care. And I've always been so deeply honored to be there at the end of life as a loved one, or who was usually my patient, and the family would ask me to come out and be present as they transition back home. So with that long explanation, I have so many people that I have looked after. I would say to Roger, I have no idea.
Well, then right after that, Rosie comes on.
Yes, I know who Rosie is.
Okay.
I'm not gonna out her where she lives unless she says it, but I know. Well, I always do with this one though. Michelle Pratt, she's a supporter of the show, and she's in Australia.
Did
So
you see
welcome.
what William
Cool.
Garrison put? I'm just
I'm
having
just
finishing
okay. All
brunch.
right. I did not, so let's highlight this. I'm trying to get to how we started with this story, you guys. We're just going to be all over the place.
We
So,
are.
William Garrison, because if you're just tuning in, Roger said, "Can I stop you for a minute?" Roger, and William, all you said was hi. And what did you say, Roger, so that we
I
can
said
verify?
you're either chewing gum or you're eating right now.
Yes, and he verified after Roger said this. And if you're listening, so if you're not watching, or maybe you're listening on the replay, William has just typed, "I'm just finishing having brunch." So there you go. There you go.
Amen.
And
How cool is that?
on your friend Sandra, I'm picking up her ankle in the back.
Mm-hmm. I
I don't
guess
know
we're doing
why.
readings tonight.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, we can. I told you that. Remember, we talked on Saturday? I said if we're going to go with readings, we can go wherever we want because I connect
Oh,
with
okay.
spirit before every show. Well, let's tell them a little bit about you because we're here to promote your shows. But the way
Oh,
Roger works, and I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm only met him a few times, and I love both of them. He will just stop you and tell you because it comes that quickly. So, anyways, I read your bio. You guys were high school sweethearts. I'm going to start with Faye because she's been so quiet.
not exactly. Well, this is how it was. High school was many years ago, and
Mhm.
I was new to the school. I was new to the high school, and so of course I didn't have many friends. And I was a little shy because
Mhm.
I was new, and everybody kind of just looked at me and didn't really say hello. So apparently, Roger noticed me and always was thinking he would like to know me more. And his story is like I was always had my nose in the air and my books in my hand, and I was like, and that's true. I was just,
Right past me.
I wasn't even cognizant of the fact that anybody would even care whether
But
I
did
was
you
there.
guys date finally? Like,
No, we
No.
didn't.
oh, so you
You
never
gotta
even
figure
dated?
she's as tall as she is now, okay?
Yeah,
I was only like 5'6", 120 pounds.
Hmm.
I
So
outweighed him
she
by
would
30
just
pounds.
choo.
So, yeah, so I would be just traveling down the hallway trying to get from one class to the other and only intent on not being late. And he was noticing me, and I didn't notice him. The bio is not supposed to be misrepresenting a misrepresentation. He liked me, and he considered me his sweetheart for many years, but
Uh,
we never dated.
Because I always tell my friends, I said, just one night. That's all I need, one night.
Wow. Well, anyway, it never happened then, but it certainly happened 50 years later. He was at a gig. I was surrounded by our classmates because I was helping with a class reunion, and he was on the call list that somebody else called him, and so they mentioned that, he said Roger was in Texas at the time, and he said, "Well, I'm going to be up in Minnesota at a gig. Why don't you guys come and see us?" And so this friend of ours said, "Well, absolutely. I'll tell Faye Ewing to send out an email." And that's where it all started. He said, "Wait, what? And what did you say, honey?"
Well, first off, let me clarify. By a gig, folks, I'm a professional musician. I've been one
Oh, okay.
on my 62nd year of playing music.
hmm.
Okay, I played for a lot of professional people and all that. So now I come back home to Minnesota, and I saw Faye again. I was up here, I came up from Texas to do a gig. Saw Faye again, and I said, she still looks the same.
Oh,
And my heart was boop, boop, boop. So I jumped on the microphone and I told her, I still, I said, I used to have a crush on you in high school. I said, and it hasn't gone. I still feel the same way. So she came up to the stage and goes, I didn't know. So I
I
took my
didn't.
guitar off right away, grabbed her hands. They started talking to her, and I told myself, give her that one kiss that you were going to give her years ago. And I did, and bang, that was it.
So mind you, we're a little you know, we're not we're not old, but we're kind of old. So this, I think, we give hope to a lot of people
Yep.
that is, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still fall in love. I became 16 years old that night, and it was fantastic. And
Mind
we,
you now, I'm
yeah,
dedicating songs to her. I'm singing songs to her all night long. By the time I put my guitar down at the end, she was
Mm-hmm.
gone.
I ran away like a bunny. I did,
Aw.
because it was, I couldn't, I guess it was so overwhelming to me. But then I connected with him through Facebook Messenger a day later, and then it was all great. So,
But
I
you're
mean,
a different guy when you contacted her, like when you met up again with her, Roger, from what you were when you were
yes,
aware of each other in high school, right?
yes,
Well, in high school, I was like this little puny guy, you know?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden now I'm 5'10",
Well,
pretty good sized guy.
but we have also talked about this. I don't know if it would ever have worked from way back
No, it
then.
wouldn't have. I know it
Yeah,
wouldn't
Uh,
but
have.
you didn't have the abilities, is where I'm going with this.
no,
No, I did
Yeah.
not.
no, he
Mm-hmm.
did not have any of those abilities that he has now. No. And I think what really made it made me notice him
I like what Michelle said.
was that, yes, it was meant to be, was that he was so kind to everybody. I watched him. I watched him work with. I mean, just at the gigs, he was so very kind to everybody, and it was genuine, and it was like so warm. I mean, I saw him and I went, "Wow, you've improved." I actually said that.
Because the
And
old me, now the old me, and I don't mean the old me was all about me, you
Mm-hmm.
know? I didn't care about anybody's feelings, I didn't care who I hurt, whatever. It was all about me. And then when I passed over and came back, it was, I have nothing but love to share for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the
yeah,
only way I can tell you folks, it's so beautiful over there and it means so much when you come back. You have to experience for yourself what I'm talking about. But when you come back, material things don't mean anything anymore. I mean,
right.
I've got guitars that, and they don't mean nothing anymore. What
Well,
means to me is her and my
yeah.
kids and my grandkids and my great grandkids and
Yeah, but
Family.
that's what happens, right? Is I mean, I just
Hmm.
want to tell somebody because somebody said somebody had mentioned, I think it was Rosie, that my video's freezing. That's what I'm doing. I'm checking and making sure I don't have any notifications on because we I did start on my laptop tonight, guys, and it just decided it was not cooperating. So I'm on my phone. I checked. It doesn't look like it's glitching. If it is, because I'm sure the people would have jumped in and kept saying the video freeze is freezing. I did check on my phone, Rosie. It looks okay. But if that's happening, if you can try closing the window and then coming back in, sometimes that will help because I do my computer will glitch. I have a Wi-Fi extender. I believe me, we have been going through this for a long time.
We
Oh,
we
so
appreciate
sorry, go
your
ahead.
pain. We we've done the same thing. The internet connection is just sort of a mystery to me.
Hmm.
You know, Wi-Fi. We've
No,
done
but the
everything.
problem is right too, and you guys are in Wisconsin. I'm in Canada, but I'm not.
yeah.
I'm in Thunder Bay. I mentioned this many times.
You
It's on the
forgot to
shores of.
say A. I'm in
I
Canada,
don't.
eh?
That drives me crazy because I do say A, but when it drives me crazy, but you guys, I always look at our friends over in the U.S. kind of like adopted Canadians, just like we're kind of adopted U.S. We have a lot more similarities,
Very
but
much
it's
so.
people that have no idea how to use A, and then
No.
or they'll keep saying that people say a boot. But I will tell you, I can pick up people. I'm in Northwestern Ontario. When I'm talking to somebody from Southern Ontario, I can tell by the subtle differences, but
Okay.
I actually seen some guy on YouTube and I do not believe he was fooling. He actually did all the Canadian stereotypes. Like every time he said a boot, like I just got shivers up my spine. I was like, who taught this
Or
guy
the
how to
word the word out. They go out.
Right.
talk? I'll say out. So it's not quite the same, but
Yeah,
yes, I
I
will.
don't detect it quite so predominantly when you speak is when other
Do you
people are.
know where I detect an accent? Because over,
Yeah,
like you said,
me.
living. What's that?
Me.
No,
You
over in, well, yes, we didn't even get to you that you were bilingual. You're
see.
from Mexican background.
Yes.
But I was going to say very quickly, when I go to Duluth, Minnesota,
Hmm.
and I haven't been in a long time, but usually on a long weekend, because we're 3 hours away going across the border, right? And then you go over the bridge and you're in
That's
another
what you
state.
see. All the by gollies over there, by golly.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. And it takes some getting used to. Sweetest people on the planet, but it does take some getting used to the accent.
I gotta say real quick, Rosie, who is Tony? I'm picking up Tony. Like they won't leave
Roger,
me
you
alone.
just jump in while we're talking because
Oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
you. No, but
I'll
people
leave
are
right
gonna.
now.
Yeah, but I want people to see who you are because that's why the two of you are on here because I want
I
people to see what
am
your
me
amazing
in the
skills.
flesh.
Hmm.
God.
So we've got.
Look at William. Look at he said he died. He flatlined.
Oh,
That to me, he knows what I'm talking about. Then
sorry, I'm going to tell you right now. I think it's Blaise Jeanette. That's not tolerated here. So you are going to. I don't know why I can't block you, but I'm going to get rid of you.
Oh,
I
oh God, already? I mean, can't we just do a show without people just,
no, this is what happened. So I will take care of you while you guys are
I
talking
think
here.
it came in through Latino's Facebook page too.
you know?
They do a
Did it?
lot.
Okay, I'm going to check on here for comments. Hang on. We're going to find you because that's not allowed here. So Sandra Sharp asked, Roger, are you a Leo or perhaps your rising sign?
No,
Thanks, Lynn. Lynn
I
took
was
care of it for
born.
us. Thank you, Lynn. Right on.
I was almost born. Believe it or not, I was almost born under a street sign, and that's the gospel truth. It is. It really is. Because I was
Asking you
born.
astrologically.
No, what happened was my mom used to live. My mom and dad used to
Oh,
live
by
in
the
this
way.
apartment, like in a basement apartment. And
Hmm.
my mom started a grease fire, and she was pregnant with me. She ran out the door and fell, and all of a sudden went into labor. And they propped her up against a tree close to the street sign, and bloop, out
But
I
when
came.
did she almost deliver you under a street sign? What was the date and the month? How about that?
Okay, October 10th, and it
So
was
you're Libra?
He's a
yes.
Libra.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much a Libra.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm just reading here. We got some interesting comments here. I'm not
I
quite sure.
got
So where?
something off of Sandra, but I don't want to mention it.
Then
What's
don't
that?
here.
Your friend Sandra.
Well, there are people that support the show. You can like you
Can
guys
I
be
say
you.
what it is?
I just wanted them to find out who you are, a little bit about you. So let's just do what you got to do, what you guys do.
Well, everybody that watches our show, they know what I do. So and I tell them, I'm going to just give it to you straight. Is this
Mhm.
guy, the Shearer guy, related to that guy that plays guitar and sings?
It doesn't matter. He's gone.
Usually
He's
I can
gone.
block people. It's not letting me block it. So we've got
Okay.
but somebody did for you that you mentioned is from your page, Lynn Fearn. She said she
Yeah.
blocked them. But unfortunately, I
Lynn,
don't unless you got admin page things, the only thing that's gonna happen is you'll be able I just realized you'll block them for
look at
yourself.
William Garrison, October 9th, the same as John Lennon.
Oh.
And I'm the 10th.
Okay. I'm trying to see where's okay, I just saw it. My birthday okay.
So you got to get in line. You got to get behind me. You're the 9th, I'm the 10th, so I'm the leader.
Okay, so Roger, how about we do this because this is going to happen. Are you picking up anything else from anybody else here? We've got
Well, I
Valencia.
wanted to mention Sandra. I don't think I'm wrong, but I'm getting and excuse me, a false tooth
Mhm,
out of Sandra. I could be
mhm,
wrong, but I'm getting this like a little bracket thing and a tooth on it.
mhm, mhm. She said, "Go for it, Roger." She gave you permission. I just saw that
Okay.
now. Go for it,
Well,
Roger.
that's what I got.
Hmm.
So he sees your body as that was
Yeah,
said in the bio. He does.
I just go like that.
And you know the readings do come out like this in our shows too. It's rather we could be talking, having a meaningful discussion about our topic of the day, and out comes something very quickly from Roger. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's just kind of, it feels like it comes from the hip, but it really does come fast and furious sometimes.
I'm
So.
going to go back through William's comment here. He said, I was
Mhm.
killed in an accident, flatlined over 30 minutes. It was nothing like I was told to expect. I would say it was better, but I wasn't happy about being brought back. Yes,
Mhm.
many people say that. And if it, for people new here, I believe I've had a near-death experience as a toddler, and I have also studied it for over 40 years professionally as well as personally. So he said, I would say it was better, but I wasn't happy about being brought back. I don't think that was supposed to, I'm not sure how it was supposed to feel, I think, or kind of felt like he got his words screwed. He said it seemed very real, more than things do now. Ran into 5 old friends. We had a nice long conversation and then we were heading home. They made it. I didn't. So I'm guessing you're saying they crossed over, but it wasn't your time to cross over, William. Are you picking up
Right.
anything else, either two of you, from that comment?
Did you see Sandra's comment?
Dental implant.
I think go for it. Dental. Okay, let's point it out. Sandra Sharp says dental implant, no bracket. So she's verifying what Roger said. Hi, Leona. Welcome.
Hi, Leona. She's on our show too.
How am I going to block this person? You guys are going to have to go there with this person and block them on your page. If you can, maybe Faye.
Yes, maybe I
Because
can.
normally I can block it, but
gotcha.
it's not letting me.
Let me
I
try.
want to go to Delencia.
Okay, go to Delencia because she's here. She said, Delencia Nadu. Hi. If you guys have questions, feel free to post them in the audience. So,
First off, I'm going to tell you, I get like a native, what we can, I'm a native too, but we consider them Indians, I guess. But there's somebody that follows you around all the time. It's always with you. Like they protect you. So don't worry about things like when you go, this ain't going to work or that. No. They'll make things happen for you. This particular native is always with you. There's Aunt Marie. Hello, Aunt Marie.
what I'm going to put out here for you guys, okay, because I think they're coming from your page, Faith. There's another one, Faith. What do I call you,
Yeah.
Faith? I think because I have faith in you. Alexandra Putin as well. So, Alexandra Putin and Bio or Blade Jeanette, that is not tolerated here. You will be blocked and you will be removed. So don't even bother trying, people. Don't pay them any attention. We don't feed the trolls here. Okay,
Right.
so if I could block them, yeah, you know what, Lynn, unfortunately you're blocking them, but unless you have administration rights on the page,
Right.
it's just blocking for you. Okay, so
I'm doing it now.
said, like
I'm
someone that I'm
pulled back
related.
to William again.
Okay, well, just wait. She's
Delencia,
asking.
hang on, I will get back to you. But I get pulled to William. There's somebody who was buried in a light gray suit, and I'm gonna go with the blue tie. Whoever this person is.
Okay.
I'm gonna go, yes, Delencia, I'm gonna say it's like an ancestor.
Okay, so we
In
need
her
to read
family.
it, you guys, just so you know for future reference when you guys are doing your shows, because when people watch on the replay or listen on the replay, they'll have no clue what we're talking about. So Delancia had written a comment, like someone that I'm related to, or just like a spirit guide. So that's why Roger answered what he did. It's okay, Lynn. You were trying to help, sweetie. And I was all excited till I realized unless you're the administrator, you're blocking them for you. And you go ahead and do it because you don't have to see them. So William says, sorry, what was that, Faye?
I did block that person. I was able to.
Oh, okay.
And any future, apparently, profiles.
I mean, why do they even bother? Why waste your energy? Do it the proper way and come on the show.
We talked about this because this happened on Saturday, and I have a feeling this is something StreamYard is going to have to fix, because I just realized what this is, right? StreamYard allows our guests to be able to stream the show to their places. So it gives people more places to see, but I don't have any admin rights to be able to boot them. And these people do this with those that are psychics and mediums always. I have no idea. So guys, if you see comments like this, just ignore them. We're not feeding the trolls. But unfortunately, poor Faye might be busy going over to her page to block them.
Lorilei, you know why I said ow right now? Somebody just went like this. Exact same thing to my head, my earphone on this side. They would pop like that, and I heard it. And I went, "Ow!"
To you?
Yes, that was odd.
There's somebody saying, pay attention.
Something, I don't know. Oh boy.
So what I was going to say, guys, if you have some questions for Roger, you're okay with that, eh, Roger? Because it looks like that's kind
Yes,
of
of
where
course I am. Yes.
we're going. So I want to make sure we didn't miss anything. Okay, so Leanna says, I have seen spirits the last few days. I don't know. I think she says what? They're trying to tell me or who they are for the last few nights I've seen them. You picking
I
any?
get two names right away, Leona. I get Marie or Maria, and I get Linda. Those are the two. Now, mind you, if these people are still alive while they sleep, their spirit can go somewhere else.
Mhm, mhm. Well, we'll wait to see what she has to say.
Right.
Michelle over in Australia, she's kind of like one of my twins. I always call her. Her birthday's the day before mine. I'm going to
Okay.
answer Leanna's, and she's here, and she keeps saying, wow, wow. So I'll put
Oh,
that
does
up.
she?
Yeah.
Michelle, there's something, Michelle. Somebody used to have a coin purse, a little black one with gold on the top that would snap together, and they would have coins in this. To me, they're telling me that they want to give this coin purse to you with coins. So if you come into a lot of money, that's the representation of the coin purse with coins.
Well, I'm going to hold that space for her for that because anybody, you know what, we could all use a little, some extra money. So, and
Yes.
like I said, I have two people. The other person doesn't always chat here, but they have the same birthday almost as me. And I always say with us, her being over in Australia, with the time difference, it is almost the same day. She's August 14th, I'm August 15th. So,
Same as my daughter's.
oh, really?
Yeah, August 15th. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we have a few more comments here. So Delancia says, I have someone in spirit and I dream about her all the time.
Bingo.
Hmm. And
This person
Michelle,
will always protect you, so don't worry.
okay, because Michelle answered for you. Oh, nice. She goes, thanks. Bring that on. Thank you. And then she said, hear the Leos roar. So Leona McAvoy also added Anne Marie. I'm not sure what.
Right. Okay. But I also got the name of Linda. But I
Uh,
got the Marie part of it. But I also get Linda.
when's your birthday, Rosie? I didn't realize. Is it in June? Now that I think of it, I think it's in June. So anybody that, like I said, Roger will do this. I like to have new hosts and new shows on our network, and we kind of switch back and forth because you know what, we all have our own core audiences.
Yep.
That then you get to discover new shows
It
and
does.
things
It's
like
fun.
this. So
It's so fun. Yeah.
I'm hoping the one that follows me on our show now will be William Garrison because he's one day before me,
oh,
birthday wise.
Yeah.
well, happy
Cinco de
early birthday.
Mayo. Holy
Wow.
moly.
My
Mhm.
daughter's birthday is that as well. Yeah.
We got a lot of common birthdays between your
Yeah.
daughter and
Hmm.
your daughter with my
Yep.
birthday and close to, she
Can't
said, okay,
place Linda, she says.
yeah, she said she can't place a Linda. So, but you know as well, and me with being a medium too, that a lot of times when things come through, they may not mean anything at all. I always encourage people when I do a private reading to please record it. I will help them. No, I'll help them find the software or whatever because I tell them I don't want you to write. I
Oh.
want you to sit back and hear because
Mhm.
I used to try and separate all the different things that I do. I don't do that anymore. I just use it, throw it all in the pot, whatever comes through. I
Right.
usually end up sending a lot after a reading, but I always tell them if you're able to go back even a week after, it may be 6 months from now, and really take a look because without fail, and I know Roger, you're going to validate this, that
Mhm.
people will say that doesn't mean anything and then they'll get back to you like the next day or 2 days later, a couple
Yep.
days later, they were talking to family and it's like, holy cow, I had no idea about this, right?
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very
That's
true.
why I always say write it down because I will not remember.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we should find out from Lorilei what the software is or how we can help people. Just sit back and listen.
Oh, I'd be happy to
I
help
would
you.
love
Hang
to.
on.
I would
Then
like.
you know what? Thank you. And you were so sweet. to try and help. She said she was trying to
Oh,
help block.
she's
She said, I'm
adorable.
going to leave you now. It's nearly
Uh-huh.
midnight in the UK, so I'll watch this on catch up. Good night, folks. Night,
Yeah.
Lynn. Have a great
Night,
night's
Lynn.
sleep.
She's a she's a fabulous
Yeah. Beautiful
friend.
lady.
You
Yeah.
can tell. Like, I
Yeah.
was so excited when she said I blocked them. And as we're
Yeah.
talking, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh no.
Well, maybe I'll get her on as
Yeah, maybe
administrator.
actually that might be a good idea for you guys
Yeah.
because this is a new feature with StreamYard. So we
Okay.
can stream to more places, right? But
Right.
what I'm finding, I'm realizing why I did a bit of research after Saturday when this happened. I
Yeah.
don't have you on my dashboard when I'm producing. So I
Okay.
can't control who posts. So you guys may need a moderator when you get busier that can
We
take
might.
care of these type of things.
Yeah. I don't know if she
Mhm.
wants to do it, but maybe I'll talk with her. Lynn,
Mhm.
maybe I'll. She's in the UK though. I'm not sure how that would work for
Well,
her.
you just might need a couple extra people
Yeah.
from around. That's what people do when you get busy and you go live,
Mhm.
and then you guys can do what you guys do best, and you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
doesn't the recording sound like a great idea? Because then
Yes.
they have a record of it all.
Right.
True. Yeah.
And they don't
Yeah.
have to, because you know what happens, right? People start writing and they're going, wait, slow down, slow down. What did you say? What
Oh,
did you say? This way, I just want them to sit back,
well,
relax, enjoy
But see,
themselves.
I'm old fashioned.
yes, you are.
I'm going to be 58 in August. You know what? I don't
Doesn't
know. I
matter.
love tech. So I get into, and I'm no expert, but I get into all this kind of stuff and find new things. And Mhm.
Yeah.
I
But it's
tell everybody, and I tell
it's
my
such a
wife, I'm just a psychic. I don't know nothing about nothing.
no. You well, that's not true. But
there's some tech gods over in heaven. I'm sure I don't mean that, I mean it facetiously with the word gods, but there are some tech experts over there. They come through and give you a hand.
right, they've been helping me in the past couple months. That's for sure. I've needed all the help I can get. That is true.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
And Michelle added, sometimes things don't make sense until later. And I
yeah,
Right?
concur wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly.
right.
No,
Now,
William
can I
added
give you a real
comment.
quick story about that?
Please
What
help.
you just said?
Absolutely.
A long time ago when I was living in Texas, I read for a girl and I said, I'm picking up somebody named Ruben. And I said, something about a foundation. And I said, and it's got to do with a foundation. I said, like kids, I don't understand this. She goes, I don't know, Ruben. I said, okay. And she says, I'm looking for a job. I said, well, maybe you'll get a job in this foundation. She goes, I don't want, I said, it's working with kids. And she goes, I don't want to work with kids. I want to work with animals. And I said, jokingly, I said, well, you could call them animals if you want. I said, but these are kids.
Mhm.
So she said, no. Then she wrote it all down. She got home. I get a call like 4 hours later. Is this Roger? Yes. This is so and so. Oh, hi. You just left. Yes, I just wanted to let you know. I received a call when I got home. Yeah. Somebody called me that said that he was going to write a prayer for me. Oh, cool. I said, that's nice. She said, and he was talking about, I told him I was looking for a job. And he said that he had this friend that had a foundation that had worked with kids. It was like a daycare, but it was a foundation. The lady had 3 buildings,
Mhm.
and he said maybe you can go work for her and all that. And she goes, hey, I didn't get your name. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, I'm Ruben.
I love it. Well, you did get it. You know what you did get right about me? And I'm not saying that the names you've given me aren't correct. It's just I have been there with so many people that have passed over or looked after, and I haven't been working in many years actively out in the community. Like I do nursing stuff every day.
But they're still around you.
That makes me feel good. I was gonna say here we've got Leanna or Leona. Sorry, I need my glasses on. My 6-year-old is always sick since October. Do you feel underlying issues awaiting tests? I picked up some things, but I want to hear what Roger. Oh, that's what I was gonna have very quickly. Roger did get about my back. He picked up about my back, what side, and the whole bit. That's what I wanted to add. Sorry, Roger. Go ahead.
Leona, can I please get your daughter's name? or your 6-year-old's name, but there's something I keep hearing like like that, like she's clearing her throat or he's clearing his throat. But I'm also getting, and I don't mean to have you panic or anything, Carly. Okay, please do not panic when I say this, but I'm also getting blood issues. Something in the blood. Yes, the throat. There you go.
I'm going to add something with that too, because I picked up something as well
Go
before.
ahead. Feel free. Jump in.
So what I'm saying, and please remember, Leona, or anybody listening here, that even though I'm a nurse, I can't diagnose. I do some medical intuition as well. And Roger here is not giving medical advice. He's just telling you what he's picking up. We have to
I'm
say
not a
that.
doctor.
No, but we have to say that. So
Right.
what I'm picking up is like, and again, nothing to panic about. I'm not trying to panic you, but almost like autoimmune things in the way of like allergies underlying causing a lot of these issues that are then, we get excess phlegm, we get excess fluids from allergies sometimes, especially if it's affecting the throat. Okay. So see what the doctor has to say, what they recommend. But what I keep hearing may really, really help, if you're able to afford it or you have some coverage, is to maybe possibly work with a homeopathic or naturopathic doctor, that they may give you some solutions that may work if you don't receive answers from your doctor, maybe that you're satisfied with or what have you. Anything you want to add to that, Roger? She said yes, allergies.
Well, and that's why I say to me it's something also in the blood. Please get the blood checked. And they're showing me right now the white blood cells. Like
That's why I said
elevated.
autoimmune. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they're elevated.
Mm-hmm.
So please get them
IgE.
checked.
So if I say IgE level to you, Roger, what does that do? Yes or no?
Say again.
IgE level in the blood.
I don't know if that doesn't.
He doesn't have to know.
That
Just
doesn't
either
register
yes or
with
no.
me. I get like, here's the red, here's the white. The white is up here.
Yeah. Okay. So IgE would be the level in the blood, maybe elevated. And I wasn't expecting you. I just was going to ask you if you heard a yes or no, because it's related to white blood cells. So you may see that elevated. And what you're going to see with that is, again, with the allergy, she goes, her arms and legs hurt her, burning sensation she gets.
There's something else. And I'm going to say this goes back generations.
I'm not going to say, and it's nothing to panic about, but
No.
can't really talk about it on the live right here. But yeah, I am picking up a few things. So
absolutely, a physician needs to be seen.
I'm sorry, you're kind of muffled there, Faye, just for a minute.
Oh, it needs to be followed up with a doctor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, and to be diagnosed. And always we say that. We always to be diagnosed. But but Roger sees things very visually and colors and, things like that. So, and he doesn't have any formal background in, health, but he does see the body. He does see the body.
I always jokingly tell my wife, I say, you're talking to Dr. Garza here. It is a joke, you know?
It is a joke.
Okay, so Tina says hello, new to the show. Hello, Roger.
Yes, she's another
we do have
regular.
a question from Rosie, but I'm going to follow up quickly with
Go ahead.
She goes, I know there's a lot going on for her. You put meningitis? No.
No, that's not what I get. No.
And that's the nurse in me. You would know, very unfortunately, if your child had meningitis. So what I'm picking up, this is some irritant kind of to the nerve, if you will, that's causing some of the tingling and what have you. Like I say, maybe follow up with your doctor if you can. I know it's hard to wait to get the results.
What's the one that crystallizes?
Crystallizes?
Yeah, you got a pound on the back.
Oh, it's not cystic fibrosis.
That's what I'm going in there.
You are?
But I'm also going in the blood. Something in the blood.
I would think she would have known by now with a 6-year-old. Honestly, I'm serious about that.
Well, what I'm saying though is something is causing all this, and if it's not taken care of, it could go to that.
Well, you're born with that. That's genetic. And working in the NICU, but it may be making, I don't want to undermine you here, but because we can't diagnose on here. But
Right.
what I was going to say, there's something that's causing that type of phlegm, right? The
Yep.
phlegm and the congestion and
Yep.
what have you. So the best thing, Leona, is please follow up with your doctor. I know it's hard to wait for the tests. I don't
Please.
know. I keep really, really feeling, and I could be wrong about this. We're not 100% correct as psychic mediums. We're human too. But I almost feel like see what they offer. And if you do have some coverage, really check into, do your homework and see what you can find in the way of a naturopathic or homeopathic doctor that may be able to get to. I'm sorry, maybe I'm old fashioned, but even being a nurse, unless it's life threatening or whatever it is, I do a lot of research and I look for something natural, because before we had what we have now, back in the day,
Exactly.
people were able to fix themselves and heal themselves and do quite well with that. So, and if you don't have that knowledge, which most of us don't, that's why we have homeopathic and naturopathic type. Somebody that's more leaning towards nature, if you don't get the significant answer that you want. Does that help you too, Roger? Or
You know what else could cause it too? Believe it or not, Leona, mold.
yeah,
Mold can cause the same symptoms. So please have your house checked for mold.
that I would definitely trust if Roger's picking that up.
Yep.
Definitely. Mhm. And mold can be very serious.
Yep,
Very,
it
very.
can.
Good job, Roger. Good pickup.
Thank you.
Because I was not picking that up, and that is very important. Oh my God, we have bad mold. Yeah, you need to get that taken care
You
of.
need to either move, because the kids are picking all this sickness up because of the mold. Please move.
And that
'Cause-
will cause the tingling,
Yep.
like you just.
It'll cause everything. Mold, number one, once you get mold in your house, there's no way, might as well burn the house. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but that
I
house
left
is
my
no good
old house.
anymore.
We had
You
it
left-
full of black mold. And you guys, I didn't tell you all of the people that are new here. We had a severe paranormal experience for years in my previous home. We've been on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor, season 4, episode 9. It's kind of how I rediscovered my own gifts. But our house was full of black mold. People were always sick.
Well, she
When
said
I
she has black mold or has bad mold.
Yeah.
And look what William put.
Well, see what it is. And if you can get somebody in there to test it, test the air quality. And the thing that you're going to have to do, this I will strongly encourage, until the landlord is able to sort it for you, please do some research on mold, what it can cause in the way of symptoms, and then really follow through with whatever is able to best suit your budget. There are some air filters you can get and things in the meantime, but like I say, unless they remove what's there, like bleach, there's sometimes bleach and things can help, but the problem is it depends what kind, and it never takes it away.
Right, but it never really goes away.
And
Yeah,
maybe-
we never fix the problem what caused it in
No.
the first place.
Well, it comes from can come from the foundation, the walls. It's hard to get out unless you break down the walls.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Yeah.
do yourself a favor and move. And I'm sorry to say that, but to your landlord, but once you have it, there's no fixing it. Just get out.
So Anne-Marie, well, Michelle, the problem is, and I hear you, anything like that, like vinegar, like Michelle suggested vinegar, or I know certain types of bleaches, there's air filters you can use, and it's kind of like a Band-Aid, because as Faye said, unless you
But
get
it's
to, like, a
already
pocket.
implanted in the kids' bodies,
Well,
you know?
I mean, it can be in the walls, it can be in the foundation, and that's
Ugh.
that. You know, it depends on maybe.
So that is why you were picking up what you were picking up, Roger, and why I was too. I can tell you right now, oh my goodness, Leona's had lung surgery. You've all had bad chests since last year. Oh, sweetheart.
Well,
That can cause all the neuro symptoms. It can cause so many issues. And people, it's not a big thing that people talk about. Like William Garrison just, I highlighted his comment. He said, I've been in that business. You actually can clean that up. So what do you think you could use? I imagine you could clean it up eventually if you get to what's causing it, William. I think
You have to
that's
strip the house walls, though, you know? And get
you
down
have to get to the problem, or it's
Right.
just going to keep coming back.
And look at Anne Marie says
I'm going to highlight, I was just going there.
radon can cause the same symptoms.
Radon gas, yeah. That's true, William. You just said, yeah, but if it's in your stuff, you can take it with you. An ozone machine, you can ozonate and burn it up. I've never heard that one. Yeah, some mold bleach is completely ineffective except for washing it away. I agree. That's why I said you almost either if you're just renting, you're not going to want to pour a lot of money into it. Like I
Right.
would, I think Roger has the best solution. Yeah, but she doesn't own the place. Like she said, landlord. So if it's your
No,
own
they,
house, then
mm,
yeah, you kind of got to deal with it.
thank you to the spirits for giving me that.
Thank you. Yes, because we had a question. I saw your question at the bottom. I think it was Margaret, but we had a question from Rosie. She said,
Okay.
Roger, do you get anything for me? She said,
Well,
just
I did get the name Tony. I remember saying that
okay.
to you.
Okay. I forgot. We got on the. This was really important. And I'm so glad that you asked that question, Leona. And I hope we've given you enough information to
Yes.
help for you.
Yes.
Rosie, I also get somebody, it's a female to me. I don't know if she had a stroke or what, but somebody drags their foot. Or they pass and they're dragging their foot. Okay? This is for Rosie.
Mhm. Okay, we've got Margaret, and I'm probably going to mess up your last name. I don't know if you'll be able to read that. It's
Vargoletos.
I knew it was Latino. That's why I gave that to you. She says, "Hi, can you please tell me about my finances?"
They're very bad. No.
That's not gonna help.
You're very bad.
Ah.
Be nice.
Leonie, you're very welcome. She says thank you very much.
Mhm. And
Thank you
Rosie
so
said
much.
thank you as well.
Absolutely.
Well, what about Tony? What about somebody dragging the foot? Come on.
So he wants you to let him know. And Margaret just said, yes, you got it. They're very, very bad.
Oh.
LOL.
Okay. I was joking.
Can we give
No.
her a solution?
Can we
I don't
help?
normally
There's
pull
there,
cards.
I'm gonna say this, Margaret. If you loan somebody some money, if you did this in the past, that person to me keeps dodging. It's like you're supposed to get that money back, but somebody's got it blocked. It's like blessings. If your blessings are blocked, how are they going to get to you? Well, this person. No, well, Rosie, hang on. I'll get to you in a second. Let me talk to Margaret.
Mhm.
This person that owes you this money, you gotta just in your mind at night. Here's what I tell everybody: at night, talk to this person. You know you owe me the money. You need to return it to me right away.
And if you got a picture of them, even pictures
Right,
both
that
there
helps a
and
lot.
Mhm, mhm.
But you keep on saying it. While you're walking around, say the guy's name or the person's name, and please give me back my money. Eventually, bang, it hits. There's your spirit goes to their spirit, and it works.
Can I add one thing for you, Mark?
Yes, of course.
Is I'm picking up that you're a very giving person, and you would give somebody the shirt off your back if they needed it. But with
In that sense, with Leona, trust me. If I was a millionaire right now, which I know I'm going to be,
Mhm.
but if I was a millionaire right now, I would say, "You're moving. Leave whatever behind. I'm buying you a house." Bang.
Oh, okay, so let me finish. She said, I did lend money, Margaret, and she said yes to what I said. The advice I'm picking up from your guides and for you is although you are incredible, and many of us are like this at they would give people whatever they need. Well, you can look at it as the universe, whatever you want to call it, right? And on the earth, we have night and day, we have light, we have dark. Okay, there's opposites. We also have to show the universe that we're good at receiving. So even if it's something small, maybe somebody calls you up and says, "Hey, you know what? I was thinking about you. Want to take you out for lunch, my treat." What do we all say? Most of us, "Oh, no, no, you don't have to pay. No, that's okay."
Right.
So when somebody offers you something, and I know they have, and I know they will, just say thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. You're showing the universe that not only are you good at giving, but you are good at receiving.
Right. I
One
was
other
told
thing,
that.
money mantras. Money mantras. I love money. Money loves me. Hmm.
I like that.
Hmm.
So
Got
if
a lot.
somebody invites me to lunch or something, I'm gonna order a steak.
But I didn't tell you to go order the most expensive thing on the menu.
All right, but Leona, that's the person I am. Trust me, dear. I would say you get those kids out of that house and go look for a house and let me know how much it costs. Boom.
I really
My
have to watch
heart
him.
breaks for you that you had lung surgery. Mind you, we can't change the
Yes,
path. You were meant to be here right now. And
right.
between all of us, we figured out what it is, right? Like it's
Yeah,
mold.
Yeah.
Mention the mold. Absolutely. I feel that so deep in my core and soul. Roger, same thing, right? Just got to get
yeah.
away from that.
Hmm.
Okay.
Do you want
Well,
to answer Rosie's question or the new person? Because Rosie
let's go to
says,
Rosie. Back to
okay,
Rosie.
do you want me to read it or you want to read it, Roger?
Okay, this person that I said.
Well, we have, honey, we have to read it so the other.
I'll read it just
Okay.
because people do listen on the
Yeah.
replay, and if they're
Hmm.
not watching, they will have no clue what we're talking about.
Right,
So
right.
Rosie has a fall. I know, but you guys, this is a good training for your show too, because people are gonna be listening on the replay, going, "What are these
Okay.
people talking about?" Okay,
Exactly.
so and another question: who is this stroke person to me? Sorry for so many questions. Again, I can wait. It's your
Yeah.
turn,
No,
Rosie.
Rosie, it's not anything like that. Don't feel that you're bugging me because you're not. This person to me had passed, and it's an older lady, like grandma type, but she would drag a foot, and I'm gonna say she would drag the right foot, because to me she had a stroke. Now it could have been a friend of the family. It doesn't mean it's a relative. But it's this lady that would drag her leg because her right side was like no good per se, something like that. And then I got her connected also with someone named Tony.
Mhm. Tony keeps coming in there for you.
Right.
So she
I
Leona
said,
guess
says,
"I
I,
don't."
can't thank you enough.
I guess
You're
you
so
should write
welcome,
that
dear.
down for sure. Just Tony, the name Tony.
Yeah, because Rosie said, I don't know any older person who had a stroke. Well,
Maybe your family does.
never know. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes that comes through after,
Uh-huh.
you're
Yep.
like, it may come through for you, it may not. Maybe something, sometimes it's from the future too.
I've
Sometimes.
gotten many, many a call. They call me back and say, you know what, you were right. Well, I told you.
So
I have.
Leona said, can't thank you all enough. Now,
Mhm.
Margaret's follow up question is any money coming in?
There's a deal, Margaret. Are you working on some kind of deal regarding real estate? I'm looking at this building. Either you want to buy a building, you want to move into this big building. It's got to do with the building and the papers, signing the papers.
She says she's got
Huh?
an answer there.
She's waiting for a settlement.
There. That to me is good.
Hmm.
But it's right around the corner for you. They're showing me. It's right around the corner. And
Yep.
will you remember my name when you get your.
Roger.
Would you just please
Yeah, show me the money. Look at Michelle. Show me the money.
Yeah, yeah. So
You
we've
know, you
got,
know who would say that would have watched the Ice Road Truckers?
I've seen
He
that. Yeah.
who was the guy? He was a Swedish guy. Show me the money.
I'm trying to remember. My partner Dell used to watch it all the time. I
Oh,
remember.
I always watched it.
It was actually a pretty good. It
It was
was
pretty
actually a
fun.
pretty good
Yep.
show.
Hmm.
Hmm. So we got Lizzie McLeod. She says, "Hello, first time here. Can you see anyone in spirit for me, please?"
Lizzie, who is? I'm gonna go with the name Zach, short for Zachary.
Hi, Paul.
Oh wow, Paul's here too.
Hmm.
Oh, my
I
brother
have to have
Paul.
Paul on. We
Wow.
connected, and then he came to the network. So I'm gonna have to get a hold of you, Paul, because I'd love to have you on too. Paul's
Yeah.
on before I am. I
Yes.
think an hour or two before he is on Mondays.
Right.
Mhm.
He is. We were watching him on his show
See you?
earlier. Yes. Yes.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to see you here, Paul.
So, did you pick up on somebody? Sorry, I'm getting distracted by these comments here, Roger. That was with Oh God, I really should have my glasses on.
Well,
Lizzie McLeod.
where were we before? Got to backtrack.
I am backtracking. That's what I said. I got distracted too with Paul there. She
With
said,
Lizzie, we were with Lizzie.
yeah, Lizzie. Mm-hmm.
And see, this is what I mean. What did I just mention? Because I forgot. I mentioned something to Lizzie.
Hang on, let's go down and see what she tells us.
Because I'm still kind of stuck on Margaret.
He said, Zach, and she said, sorry, I don't know a Zach.
Please write it down anyway. And here we go again. Write it down.
So it may, like I said, sometimes, like I know when I do a reading for people, that's why when we were talking about it earlier, I get people to record it. And I will tell them right up front, I'm not 100% correct. I don't think anybody that is a psychic medium is. We obviously would never tell you something falsely. We're going to tell you what we're picking up and what we're seeing. And also we have free will. So sometimes things can deviate a little bit. Sometimes things can come through. There is no time or space on the other side. So you may be, you know what I mean? Like it may be something also from the future.
Well,
Michelle gave us the name. There we go with Ice Road Truckers.
Oh, it was Hugh.
Hugh.
No, Hugh was the big guy.
Oh.
That's not the one.
I Lisa, the female truck driver that was on there.
No, it wasn't Lisa. No.
Well, she's not. We were talking about a guy.
Yeah. I want to say his name was like Tremaine or something like that. I used to say his name all the time. We need
Zach here, and Zach usually comes on YouTube, and poor Zach hasn't picked up that we're on. She goes, oh, dang, because we're on our secondary channel.
Well, I'm still dealing with...
Lizzie. She said she didn't know with Zach.
Okay, but please write it down. But there's also somebody coming through. It's a little old lady with short curly hair, glasses, very soft-spoken. How are you? Good to see you. Very gentle. I don't know if it's grandma or if she passed or what, but I get this little lady, little petite lady, that would always hold her hands together like this. And she would talk. Yes, dear. Yes, of course. Oh, yes. Like that.
I almost see her wearing like a little white like cardigan, like little older person's kind of sweater and kind of like a nightgown.
Yeah, like a light brown one, light tan one.
Yeah, I'm seeing almost like a whitish, could be tan. And this has been the strange thing with my gift lately. I've noticed over the last probably 6 months, as somebody starts talking about these type of things, it's like a movie starts to play in my head.
Right.
And I never used to get that because clairvoyance, for those of you that may have not heard of that before, that's when we have sight with our intuitive gifts. That was not always my strongest. Mine is clairaudience. I hear spirit all day long. No, I don't hear voices, by the way. It's within the mind's eye, if you will.
Did you see what she wrote?
Yes. Maybe my gran. Yes, my gran wore cardigans. Interesting.
Wow.
Oh my God, she is okay. Because I'm gonna add to this because the lady I was seeing, she just had the most loving. How do I want to say enveloping? Like just she didn't have to put her arms around you, but she just wrapped you.
No,
in
but
like that's what I feel.
Very loving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If she's in spirit, she's with you.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about the light brown dog. Almost like a light tan to like a faded white. The same as a sweater almost. But she's got the dog with her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you do too? Sandra's very intuitive. She said, yeah, I get it all the time when I start talking too. That's so cool because that's new for me. And it's almost like a movie. That's why I've been picking up on stuff. We didn't talk about whether we were, I said to Roger, if you're okay with doing readings, absolutely. But then we didn't talk about whether I was going to tag team on them. So sorry if I did, but you can't stop it.
No, don't apologize.
But when it comes through, and you gotta share it. I want to add what Paul said, and he's one of our newer shows and hosts on the network as well. He said it would be an honor to be on here, so we need to have him on sometime, you guys. I was working on that, and then we got time got away from me, so I would love to have him on as well. And you're gonna love him,
He's
right?
great.
Right, Faye and
He's
Roger. He's
oh,
amazing.
he is.
Anytime.
He's
You know, it'd be cool to just get a bunch of people that are psychics again. Bang, bang,
Lori,
bang, 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 you know?
Paul, Roger, all at
Oh,
the
we've got
same time.
lots. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Well,
All at the
we
same.
okay. So I told you guys this on Saturday after the show. What we've done, but we've got so many new shows. We used to on Monday nights when my show was a lot later. We had a space of 2 hours, so we used to do a panel on the paranormal.
Oh, right.
And we'd have anybody that could pop up that were hosts. Oh, we had so much fun with that. I miss it. So
Can you do it
Lizzie,
again?
for you, is saying, oh, wow, yes, I have a few dogs up there. And she's asking the question, sorry, is my brother with them?
I get somebody named Junior. I don't know if that's what they called your brother or what, but I got Junior.
I can honestly tell you, yes, your brother is with all your loved ones on the other side.
Oh, yeah. He's the one that's got to take care of them almost.
Well, yeah, but when you explain it, right? And like the same thing at dinners, like that you have in weddings, and you do
Junior is the dog.
there. Junior is the dog. There you go. You picked up on the dog.
Wow.
Oh,
Thank
so
you.
Leona says
Thank you.
she would like to see a show with the four of us, Paul and me and you and Faye. It sounds
Why
like that
not?
would be fun.
Yeah, why
Oh, well,
not?
I'll be like if everybody else is viewing it, I'll be watching, man. I'll just be watching.
Okay, so let's just stop there for a minute. I want to stop there. Just
Okay.
because, and Faye, I'm not meaning to embarrass you. Faye is now working on her abilities, and I talked to her about this. And for anybody else who needs to hear this, we all have these gifts. Just like some of us are natural born leaders and athletes and singers, and no matter what it might be, doesn't mean that we can't learn to tune into these gifts. Like Roger said, he didn't have these gifts until he had his near death experiences. Some people that unlocks it. Some people hang on to it throughout their whole life. I was using it as a nurse. I can tell you, I'm writing a book about this. So many things that happened that I now know it was my guides directing me when I was on nights and had 60 patients. Last room I would have went into, and I heard you need to go in that room immediately. As I go in, I see the poor gentleman keeling over in his bed. I can tell you there's all kinds of stories like that. We all have this, and whether we want to call it psychic abilities, you've said it yourself, I'm sure you have, or something to this effect. Well, I know it. I don't know why I know it, but I know it, or I'm going to trust my gut on this. That's your intuition. We all
Yeah.
have it.
I agree. I
Honey,
believe I have
you
some.
gotta go
And you
check
have
the.
those abilities, is what I'm saying, Faye. And I know
know.
you're going to be amazing once you learn and keep growing and evolving and practicing with it. Sorry, Roger, what were you going to say?
You gotta go check the door locks. The
Me?
doors.
Yeah.
You want to go do it, or you want me to go do it?
Lorilei, no, you don't have to, Lorilei. That'll be my job. We're at the.
Oh, I
office,
thought it was
so
talking
We're
to
still
me.
at the
I'm going,
office.
I'm just
we,
gonna. So I'm going to be exiting, and is that okay? I'll be back though.
go ahead, Faye.
All right.
So Michelle's asking a question for Faye, and Leona says Faye is doing amazing. She is. And it takes time to trust our abilities and our gifts, especially if it's something newer that we're discovering later in life, right? So, and Anne Marie says, thank you for that. I always wondered.
Let me say this for Michelle. Michelle asked the questions. She said, "May I ask? I don't have contacts with my siblings anymore. No one has told me about family passing.
Sorry.
Am I really that bad of a person not to be told?"
No.
No. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's all based on a lie. Somebody said something and it was all a lie. Okay? Do not hold that guilt. It's not yours. You let it go. Because it's not your problem, it's theirs. And it's all based on a lie.
I'm going to throw something in there too, Michelle. And again, it's not about me, but I have a very large family, and I would not be doing what I'm doing today. I tried for years not to cut off, contact with my family. And eventually I realized the only thing that I could change is myself. And so I made that difficult decision. I now know from spirit that we will have those conversations when it's their turn to transition back home. And I have found out many a family death. I don't get the paper And when I'm out and I'm using my debit card, say shopping, and someone says, Potvin, read. Oh, were you
Well,
really the person in the newspaper? And I had no idea. And remember, I'm going to absolutely support 100% what Roger is saying. This is not you. This is other people's issues and what they're dealing with, whether it's feelings of vindictiveness or, anger, whatever it may be. It's not you.
right.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
don't carry that guilt.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
in the same sense, I had a cousin that she was so dear to me, like another mother.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talk about her, I start getting emotional.
Mm-hmm.
My mother didn't tell me that she passed till 4 months later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I told my mother, I said, how could you be so cruel? I
Mm-hmm.
said, you knew what she meant to me. I said, and now you tell me that she passed? I said, you have to live with that.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's vindictiveness and it's things like this. And you know what, Michelle, I've known you. I mean, we don't talk every single day, but I've known you for a couple of years. Michelle just happened to find the show one night. And you know what? You have such a big heart. And again, you know what? When I was first learning about my own abilities years ago, and I'm going to read Paul's comment in a minute. And I used to hear from different mentors, what other people think of me is none of my business. And I kept thinking, of course
What?
it's my business. I don't want people to be saying things. And I now realize it isn't. They're on their own path. They've got their own stuff going on. So when people do stuff like that, it's not that you're an awful person in any way, shape,
No.
or form. You know what? You carry on with what you're doing. Yeah, it hurts. It really does hurt. But
But let it
remember,
go, leave it to the universe. Let
hmm
them correct
yeah,
it.
hmm absolutely. So
I'm getting.
Paul Francis says,
Go
do you want
ahead.
to read his comment or you want me to?
No, you go.
Okay, so Paul Francis, clairvoyant, psychic medium, and one of our amazing hosts on the network here. I couldn't agree more. We are all born with psychic ability, mediumship, not so much true, but psychic, yes. Some are very connected and understand pretty much right away. Way others tend to over time. But I'm going to share a story very quickly. And I found this great podcast. Those of you that follow my show a lot, I found it by Nothing's an Accident. There are no coincidences. But you also know I talk about doing resin all the time. So when my hands are all full of sticky plastic as I'm pouring molds, I have my headphones in and I'm listening to something on YouTube. Hopefully educational, usually, or something that raises your vibration by making you laugh happily. Anyways, this podcast started playing and I've gotten hooked on it. And it's an ex Hollywood director by the name of Alex Ferrari. And it's called the Next Level Soul Podcast. And there is an amazing lady on there by the name of Suzanne Giesman. And the reason it made me think of mediumship. She was high up in the US military, was basically atheist, their whole family was, and her beloved husband, they married each other sort of later in life, and they each had their own families before marrying. And I guess her daughter-in-law was 6 months pregnant and in the military and passed away. And Suzanne loved this stepdaughter, I guess, stepdaughter, not daughter-in-law, uh, so much. And she kept spending time at night focusing and focusing and focusing. She just could not believe she was gone. Long story short, she did connect. She connected with her guides. She now does work as a medium and
Good.
teaches people. hmm Maybe she always was. Maybe it was a gift to unlock. But she does teach people
It
how to
took
do
that
this.
little thing to bring it out.
Mhm.
It took her daughter passing, her stepdaughter passing,
But
to
she
bring it out.
teaches people how to access it by doing what she did. And to me, regardless of whether you access mediumship abilities or discover your own amazing gifts as a psychic, it teaches us to quiet the mind and connect with the other side because we're never alone. Never, ever, ever. A lot of people feel alone, but we're not.
Oh,
So,
no, by no
okay,
means.
oh, wait, I'm going to add, sorry, I want to back up a little bit. So Michelle says, thanks, guys. She says it's all sad, and it is. But like Roger said, if you can, try to release it. If you can't, maybe it's good to talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be say go to counseling. It's a form of grief, if you will, letting it go. So even I know there's groups all over. Maybe you might be able to find one that feels like a good fit for yourself.
Don't
But
let it rule your world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Sandra says the issues are theirs. You can extend the olive branch, but it's up to them to accept it. And only if you're ready and that you are prepared that you may not hear a yes, because that's a big one.
Sandra, I'm getting an ingrown toenail for some odd reason.
See how
I'm not laughing at ingrown toenails. They're nothing to
Oh, I
laugh
am
at.
because I'm Adam. I know what it's about.
They are nothing to laugh at all. It's just that's how Roger's gift works.
that it comes out
They
very
take
raw.
me right there. Boom.
So Rosie said, just curious, Roger, you mentioned Rose earlier as I just came on, and it was a bit awesome. Did you perhaps see my full name?
Yes, I did.
But he was
Have not
speaking.
not the full name in the thing of mentioning
No,
it.
but when you said what you said, you were saying, I think that you picked it up. If I'm not mistaken, I think you said it. We'll have to watch back at the beginning of the show. It wasn't connected to Rosie. I think you were telling me you seen somebody with the name Rose because you asked me if it was okay to say it,
Yeah,
and you were here, Rosie, but it wasn't at the same time. Like, yeah, I think he said the name and
came
then
in
you
right
came on.
after.
Yeah, it wasn't that exact. I can honestly tell you that. So, Allison Fleming, we got lots of comments, you guys. You know how much I love it. Hi from Northern Ireland, Allison Fleming.
Wow.
Glad to have you
Yeah.
here.
I'm not going to do it, Paul.
Okay, so Paul says, okay, let's read Paul's comments. I would definitely be up for doing a paranormal panel if you want to revive that. Well, I don't have anything to do with it. It's with our amazing, and I'm going to give him a shout out. I usually do
Yeah.
every show that I do, Joe Montaldo. He started this network over 20 plus years ago, and he knows what he's doing. I've been on other networks. I can't believe I used to do a show every night, Monday through Friday. I don't know how I did on a previous network, but I love this place, and he provides this amazing platform for all of our hosts here to bring the content to you guys. So it only happens depending on if there's an opening. And I don't know how Joe does what he does because he works a muggle job, as I call it, running a construction business in
Oh,
Louisiana, where we are broadcasting from in New Orleans. And then he does all this amazing stuff, including shows and producing on the network at night. He's
wow.
amazing, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So,
I got
Paul, you have to
something.
talk to him.
I got something for Allison Fleming.
Oh, okay. Let me go back to Allison then. Allison Fleming from Northern Ireland.
I get somebody, and it's an older man that would wear. I don't know what they call those hats, but they go flat right here.
Like a cabbie hat?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he cannot stand up straight. And I had this before. This man cannot stand up straight. He has to use a cane. He's all like dressed up in a coat, nice pants or slacks, but he's an old man and he walks around humped over with the cane. He walks very, very. That's how I'm hearing him.
hmm She goes, that's my dad.
Huh?
Allison just said, that's my dad.
Is he still with us? Still around?
She'll answer first. I want to give you a little bit of feedback and then we'll jump over to Norma and when Allison types. So,
Norma, hello.
Hello.
we're getting there, you guys. We're loving these comments. So,
Well,
Rosie did
she's from
say,
our show
I was
too.
thinking of my dad who passed, and again, he used to call me Rose. Was just wondering if he had said her name. hmm Her dad, yeah, has passed very recently, actually.
Maybe it was. I'm not trying to put the piece in the puzzle and all that, but when I said Rose, maybe I heard your dad calling at the same time, and that's why I mentioned to you Rose,
hmm
Lorley.
Well, you said I had somebody with me. You asked me if
Yeah,
it was
name
okay,
Rose.
but she's alive, so it. You know
It
what? It's
doesn't
hard.
matter. I pick up the spirit, and I'll give you a little story on that one too. But I pick up the spirit before it arrives to the body, if that makes sense.
hmm hmm
I've done that a couple of times, and it scared the living
So I'm
out of
I'm
me.
gonna go through here. Sandra was talking. You told her about the ingrown toenails. She goes, Roger, family toenails, and she's laughing. So I guess maybe you picked it up.
I'm sorry.
So Allison says that's my dad. Norma says hello, Faye and Roger. Allison
Hello.
then says yes. He, meaning her dad, had a stroke and throat cancer, and yes, he has passed over.
please know that he's walking around in the back. Like if you have a garden or something, he's walking around and he's, you need to fix this. That's how
She's
I
from
hear him.
Ireland too. Maybe you're picking up that
I
brogue,
think
like
I
you
that
don't
are.
know,
Irish
but I'm
brogue.
hearing that type of tone,
Paul, sorry, Paul.
What was that? Sorry, Faye?
Well, if it was an Irish brogue, it wasn't very, he was
Oh,
hard to
no,
hear.
no, no, no.
No,
I
I'm
don't think
picking
you're
up
being
on the
disrespectful
tone.
or
Of
anything.
the
No.
tone. Okay.
Yeah, because other people have come to me and they, oh, I'm done, and you go, hey, calm down, But
Yeah,
no,
but that's
he's,
how she recognized. If you remember, he did that, what he was hearing, and
Mm-hmm.
Allison said, "That's my dad."
Oh,
She
okay.
heard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know it could be perceived that way. I hear you,
Yeah.
but so Allison said, and my mom is at end of life stage. I'm so sorry. And
Yeah.
she said, at the moment, I don't want to lose her, but can't bear to watch her suffer anymore. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry.
that's why Dad is
Dad's
in the
there.
garden,
Mhm.
waiting for his turn to fetch her, and they go together.
Very sweet.
And I can
I
tell
think
you.
that's beautiful. It's not
Mhm.
sad. It's beautiful.
I
Well,
said
let's
sweet.
let's back up for a sec. It's not sad when we understand that we go on forever and that we never really do die, and when you can connect with the other side. But when you're in the moment where Allison has shared, and please forgive me if it's maybe not how you're, what I'm going to share here, if it resonates or not, but it's you feel like you're losing your mom, but you're
Yeah.
not. She still hears you. You can let's face it, we would all love to have our loved ones in physical corporeal bodies beside us. But every time you think of her and your dad, they're there. I can tell you, I have seen so many loved ones as we go through the grieving process, and our loved ones are holding us. We just can't
Yeah.
necessarily feel it. The easiest place for them to continue the conversation is to in our dreams because we're more open then. But remember, she will be with you always. She will hear you. And like I say, it's never easy to lose a loved one, and my heart goes out to you. But she will be healthy. She will be
Yep.
whole. She will be with all your loved ones over on the other side. And when it's your time one day, as it always is all of our times, they're going to be there to meet you. You're going
We
to see them.
we
That's
just
so
talked
beautiful.
about this on Paul's show.
Mhm.
We know the body as the body, and the spirit and the soul is inside the body.
Mhm.
This body is a unit that we use to communicate and to physically touch things and all that. Once the body dies, the unit is no longer used, but the soul keeps on.
Yeah.
And at sometimes during what is it called? The
Transition.
Thanks,
no,
Paul.
not the no. When you go into somebody else's body or somebody like that, I forget what it's called. But
Soul
anyway,
transfer?
say again.
Like a soul transfer or reincarnation? Or what?
Reincarnation. That's
Oh,
what I was looking for. When you do reincarnation, it could go from dropping that unit that dies, the soul comes out, and I've said this a lot of times. They go into another person. It could be a baby that's coming. Okay, this is my theory. It could be a baby that's coming, and once the baby starts growing up, you go, "Gee whiz, you act just like so and so," because so and so's there.
well, I mean, I just want to say goodnight to Paul because he has to duck out. I know it's late in the UK.
Oh
He said, I
yeah.
want to wish you all a fantastic evening and loads of love. It's
Yes.
really
Love
late
you
here, and I
guys.
will catch y'all soon.
Yep.
Good night, my dear
Thanks for
friend.
stopping by, Paul. I know it's really late. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to
We'll
read
be
your
talking,
comment.
my brother.
I'm going
Yeah.
to read your comment, Anne Marie. This goes by so quick. Don't worry, we'll have Roger back on and Faye too again. Um, Allison said, "Oh, that's beautiful. Would love to know if my son is around. I recently lost my 26-year-old son. Oh, sweetheart, you've been through a lot of loss.
Yes.
Yep.
And my dad, and then my little grandson was born sleeping. Oh, I'm so sorry. I
Oh.
did
Here,
recently, and
Allison, look at it this way.
I'm not done yet, Roger.
Wait,
Not
wait,
done.
wait, honey.
Was born
Oh, I'm
sleeping.
sorry.
Also lost my nephew, and I'm just completely broken. And oh my God, if you were in front of me, I would give you the hugest hug. Go ahead, Roger.
It's like you remember the show that they showed a long time ago? Guess who's coming to dinner? It's
Mm-hmm.
guess who's coming for grandma. Guess who's coming for mom. They're all there. It's going to be such a beautiful transition. When she passes, don't take it that, oh my God, I'll never see him again. Da, 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 da. Yes, you will.
Yeah, but I'm going to add something here. I mean, working in palliative care, Allison, you have had a lot of loss.
Yep.
And although Roger is very correct that you will see everybody again, I can't even imagine what you were going through. I want to remind you, or anybody else who's going through grief,
Mm-hmm.
that it's yours, okay, and you need to process it the best way that you possibly can. Don't ever have let somebody tell you, people think they're well meaning when they say, well, it's been like 2 or 3 years. Don't you think you should move on or whatever? And the way Spirit's shown me grief is that it's like this squiggly ball, if you will, this big black ball, okay? It never really goes away, but over time, a new normal starts to grow. So, what I want to add with this is what Roger said, that if you are having a really tough time, and I can't imagine how you're not, that you may seriously really want to try when you're ready to either join a grief support group or possibly speak with a
Yep.
counselor. That will help the healing process immensely. But when with that grief, what happens over time, and a different type of, if you will, normal starts to grow around it. But in the meantime, and it's very easy for us that can connect to the other side and say, well, you're going to meet up with them, you're going to see them, they're not really gone. But I had this conversation with my eldest son years ago about unaliving ourselves. We have to be careful with that word here on YouTube. And I was always very honest with my son. And I said, although the person that maybe does that to themselves they're no longer in pain, the people that are left behind living are the ones that have to deal with that pain and lack of answers and what have you. So, what I'm saying to you is be good to yourself, you know, try to do whatever, even if it's tiny little moments of what'll bring joy into your life. Remember, it's okay to laugh, it's okay to smile. Try to get outside if you can. Fresh air is so healing, nature. If you are familiar with the grounding process, that will really help with this. Because I'm just feeling this incredible heaviness, and rightfully so with what you're going through. But please, when you're ready, really seriously consider reaching out to even with someone like Roger and myself that can maybe give you some messages from the other side and some healing and peace. And know that our loved ones do go on, but also for yourself to be able to try and help process and deal with because you have had a lot of loss. Okay, I send you much love.
Yes.
Allison, let me say this. I'll add this. Within the last 3 years, I lost my brother to COVID. I lost my
Can't say
son.
that word on here, so we gotta be
Well, I'm sorry.
careful. It's okay.
Okay.
Last 3 years. Mhm.
Well, okay, the last 3 years, I lost my brother, my son, my brother in law, and my cousin, all to that. And
Oh my Lord.
what you have to do, it's not where they would say, "Oh, suck it up, baby, and keep going." No, because everybody has their way of grieving. I'm still grieving, but I grieve inside, silently.
Yeah, but can I add something, Roger, that people
Sure.
forget that even though we do mediumship, it's not the same when you're dealing with it personally, is it? Like it is when you're dealing with someone that you don't quite have that emotional connection with. Do you find that yourself?
Well, the thing about, like in my case, as soon as I saw my son in the coffin, that
I'm so
just
sorry.
tore me up big time. I don't want to talk about it because I'll start. But
I'm not trying to make you cry,
No,
and I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
no,
Yeah.
I
it's
just meant
just
that we can't connect the way we could when we're working in the capacity of mediumship versus when it's our own loved ones.
and,
Right.
and one thing I do want to stress is a lot of people say I didn't get the chance to tell them goodbye. I didn't get the chance to say this. I didn't tell them how much I loved them. They know. Trust me,
Yeah.
they know.
hmm hmm
So
And they hear
just
you. And they hear
yeah,
you.
of course they're hearing us right now.
Like
They're
I
part of
said,
the
it
show.
sucks because we would all take every one of our loved ones forever and ever and ever. with their bodies beside us, but they are here in soul and spirit. But it's not the same, and we know it all isn't the same. And I have such a deep empathy for people going through this. Like I said, I've dealt with this a lot myself and personally, but as well working in this professionally, and my heart goes out to you. Allison said, I'm going to back up to some comments here, but Allison said, oh, that's a lot. Also, I'm so sorry for all your loss. I was the same with my son. To lose a child is the worst pain in the world.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That's why I said, when you're ready, sweetheart, right now, just be good to yourself. Give yourself grace. And if you've got somebody around you that can love you and support you, take it. And if you can't, then anything that will bring joy to your life, like I said, even if it's for a few moments, you know, and some people will say to me, well, I don't know what brings me joy. Then try going back to when you were a child, even the simple things in life. You're not a child now, but I mean, go back to what, even the memories of it. Or, and if you are able to even spend a few moments, maybe daydreaming, or maybe you love to color, or maybe you love to, whatever that may be, but going back to that space, because you know what, every few moments of joy every day, and it starts to grow and help a little bit with the healing process.
In that sense, let me say this. My wife Faye just reconnected with part of her family, her son's kids, okay?
You're going to make me cry, but no, we're not going to cry in this show.
Wait. But what I'm saying though is I tell my wife every time, I don't hold her back from seeing her family at all. And if you're with somebody that does that, shame on you for holding them back. I always tell my wife, go make memories.
Yep.
Be with your family. Enjoy them all you can.
Right now.
Yep. Because
we will see them again. But
right.
That's why I said those of us that are still here
right.
in physical form, that's where it's the most difficult.
Now there's somebody right there who lost a lot. Lori Johnson, who's on our show too.
Mm-hmm.
Lori's house burned down.
Oh,
they stole her car, or her daughter's car. And then she lost her brother.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And Lori, you know how we feel about you, dear.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes.
I think I know Lori. I think I do.
She's in the West Coast.
Maybe not. Does she do what we do?
I don't think so.
Then she's not the same one. There's a lot of Lori Johnsons with that last name. Nonetheless, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad everybody's here. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, when I do my show, it's just a conversation. And I always, before I start, doesn't matter what show, whether it's Monday or Thursday night, and I just say, okay, Spirit, where are we going to go with the show tonight? Because Spirit always knows who's going to be here, who's going to hear the replay, and hopefully it helps those of you that hear this, that it will give you some peace and hopefully starts a little bit of healing for you.
The whole thing that Paul and I both say, we always say, yes, someone passed over that you loved, but don't stay there stuck in a hole. Make them proud of you. Do something. You know, me being a musician, I've been all over the world playing music. I know my father, my son, my brother, they're all proud of me. I know that.
Mm-hmm. I still think that there's a grieving process, though, and that
you'll never get over it. Never.
Well, not so much that as well, but we need to give ourselves grace, and we need to give ourselves time. And, you know, you can get into, I guess it sounds really technical here, but there's something called the 5 stages of death and dying by Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. I always say it should have been written the 5 stages of loss, because whether it comes from, say, a job that somebody loved, a house that somebody loved, a relationship somebody loved, or their loved one who's passing, and they give you the 5 steps people go through. Well, they don't go, life doesn't go along just step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. But I think to use it as a guideline to look at that, and to be able to give yourself grace, to be able to realize that you're doing the best that you can. And I've even said to some people, sometimes you can only take it minute by minute, and that's okay. Sometimes it's hour by hour. Sometimes it's day by day. But all we really have is the word now. Because that word right now that I just said is in the past.
Because you're in the present.
Yeah, that's what we have, the present.
This does not stop.
That
Mhm.
must be
This
time.
keeps on ticking. It keeps going.
Pointing at a clock. Yes. Hi
Hello,
there.
Kathy
Hi,
Hanley.
Kathy.
So we've got Daki. Please forgive me. I'm going to mess up this name.
Decky.
Becky from.
Her name is Decky. She's
Yeah.
Thank you.
from Asia.
Yes. So good
Okay.
to
She
see
says
you.
hello.
Hi.
Hi, Deck.
Oh,
Hi.
so Allison, she adds this, and I'm so glad. She said, my husband is my rock, and I also have my late son's little boy. Oh, I'm so happy living with me also, and I have another two sons, and that's what keeps you going. I'm so
Absolutely.
glad to hear that.
Make a life, Allison, with what, and I don't mean this in a bad sense. Make a life with what you have left,
Hmm.
okay? And make it the best life you can for those kids.
Hmm.
And
And
show your husband love, and in return, you'll get it too.
and Michelle said, Pratt says, do what makes you happy, and then she said, you learn to live with it, I guess. Well, I don't know if you ever learn to live with it, but life with
You
time,
gotta go on.
it becomes a different, if you will, and I
Yeah.
don't even like the word normal because normal is so hard to
No,
define.
there is no
You're
such
normal
thing.
and you're normal and my normal are all completely different.
Mm-hmm.
We do have you guys. We're almost out of time. This went by so quickly. Here we got a few more
Wow.
minutes. We've got Tina M. Cantu who says my niece Shara Ray Cantu passed away at the age of 3. Is she still that beautiful big brown-eyed little angel running around? I've already heard. Heck
Yep.
yes.
Of
Do you
course.
do you age when you pass? I'll let Roger go, and then I'll
Are
share
you
what you guys.
talking about like growing older? No, a lot of times when you're older, you go back to when you were young.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I always say you go back to usually what I have seen.
The
You
best
can.
time.
Well, some people I've seen will show up as grandma, like maybe it's grandma or grandpa, but then they show you what they really are, what they're living, what form. The
Right.
best I always find how they felt they looked, the most incredible in life while they were here. So
Mm-hmm.
usually younger, in their prime, they're
You mean I'm
healthy,
going
know
back
how
to
to.
this the little 5'6" puny guy again?
No, you get to choose, right? Because we have free will. So nobody says, Roger, you got to go back to what you were, this little guy back in high school.
Oh,
You get to
golly.
Oh,
choose when
Please
you thought
don't.
you're back.
I had to look at the yearbook, by the way, just a flashback to find
yeah.
out what Roger looked like. By the way, that was my PS.
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
And
You know what you
nice guy.
reminded me of when you said this?
Yeah.
My parents got married very young, and my dad was one of 17 kids. Good French Canadian Roman Catholic family, right? And his older brother, I guess, dated my mom a few times. And according to my mother at the time, she used to say, well, we weren't doing what you guys are doing, being very intimate. You just went on a date. Anyways, as the story goes, my dad, who probably would have been about maybe 5 years younger than this one particular brother, they were driving down the street, and apparently my father saw my mother, made my uncle stop the car, and said, that's the woman I'm going to marry.
Wow.
Wow.
And
That's
they're still
cool.
married.
That's cool. Well, Roger wanted to date me when we were in high school, and I guess he got his chance to 50 years later. I
Yep.
guess that's okay. And,
Well,
We're married.
huh?
my first husband too. This is so interesting when you were sharing that because we didn't talk about this so much when we were
No,
off air.
no.
My first husband, when I was in university for nursing, and I've always been the life of the party and very outgoing and whatever. He
Mhm.
knew who I was. He told me because we started dating after I had graduated and was already a nurse. He told me what seat I used to sit in a class of 200 people, what classes we had together, and I used to joke with him, thank God you're not a stalker, but
I know it
really?
sounds
Like,
a
why
little
didn't you say
creepy.
hello?
It all sounds a little creepy later on if it's in the
I
It,
told her
it,
what
it
she
could
used to
sound creepy.
wear in high school.
I know that's creepy.
That is good. Yeah. We had
Hello,
diapers on because
Lenora.
we were baby nurses. Like we had something underneath, but it was Nurses Week and Frosh Week. So we all had these, it was called the Corpuscle Hustle. We didn't name it. And these bright red t-shirts, and we were wearing diapers because all the older nurses were, it was Frosh Week. They're all bringing
Oh,
us
I got
in.
it.
So we had to
I,
do all these silly things all around campus. And he told me like he had seen me, he was watching me. Oh, and it was like
oh
kind of
boy.
creepy.
Wow.
Ah.
Creepy. No, kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
there
that's
you
funny.
go. So
Hmm.
Lenora Moreno says, good evening, Faye and Roger. And hi,
Oh,
Yep.
Lenora. I'm
oh,
Lorilei, the host of the Angel
yes.
Rock. Glad you
This
could
is
join.
her show, not
This is
ours.
yeah, it's her
Well,
show.
no, but when I have my guests on my show, And like I said, I have done some readings with you guys. It's not that I don't like to do readings. I love doing readings. It's just when I have my guests on, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning, either what they're doing professionally and or extracurricularly, they're making a positive change for humanity. And I'm genuinely curious. So I want to know, what's your story? Like, what got you started? Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Some people share, and I call it a muggle job, like out of Harry Potter, that we all have the mundane jobs versus what you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I first met Roger, again, I was totally skeptic, and when he said he was a psychic medium, I said, okay, and I sort of raised my eyebrows, right, and rolled my eyes, but then I decided to check into that, and I did a lot of, because it was foreign, the whole concept wasn't just, it wasn't really foreign, it was just like something I never really, focused on, but when he said that, I had to check it out. I did check it out, and then when he was in Texas and I was in Minnesota, he did readings for me. He does not know my family, does not know my friends, he does not know anybody, and there are people coming through that.
Can I stop you just for 1 sec?
Yeah.
Cynthia, Scarlett, Caleb, you will be blocked. You will be removed. I'm going to let Faye take care of that. Guys, don't feed the trolls. We've had lots of these tonight. We are going to, I don't have, but this is on their page. So Faye will take care of you. You will be blocked and removed.
And for those that are on your show, if I may, I want to tell you folks, I am a professional musician. There was a guy named Freddie Fender that I used to play with. If you go on YouTube, you'll see Freddie Fender and Roger Rabbit Garza. You'll see me playing guitar next to him.
I'm going to have to check that out. You guys, we have 3 minutes left. So can you tell them where to get a hold of you, where your shows are, when they are, like what days, whatever, so that they can reach you?
Our show is Latino Psychic Visions on Wednesdays, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time.
4 o'clock now. 4 o'clock.
Oh, 4 o'clock. That's right. We switched.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's all right.
We're on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon Central Standard Time. Saturday morning, we do our other show called This Mug's For You, meaning a coffee mug. And we do that at 10:30 in the morning.
Central.
Also on the same network as you.
Yes, right here on United Public Radio Network, otherwise known as UFO Paranormal Radio Network. Please stay tuned. We have coming up good friends of ours. They've been on the network, and of mine, Philip and Julia Syracusa with the Horsefly Chronicles. So check it out. I loved all of Roger and Faye's people that were here. You're welcome back anytime. If you see something you like this show or any other show, or even loving Faye and Roger's shows, please share and like and subscribe to the network. Share it with people. You know, there's something for everybody there.
There's our phone number.
There's the phone number in the chat. Thanks, Michelle. She said, thanks, Lorilei. Great show. Thanks, Roger and Faye. She goes, Faye was my mom's name. So I'm going to just end the show with just a few more announcements here. First of all, if you ever want to get a hold of me, I do mentoring, I do readings, I also do healing sessions. You can get a hold of me on facebook.com/The Angel Rock. Also, sometimes teaching. I am having a friend on next week who I work quite closely with, and I call her the Crystal Wizard. She's actually the Crystal Architect on Instagram and Facebook, Leanne Clark. She's coming on, and we're working actually behind the scenes to set something up for people that are newly developing spirituality. It's going to be a free learning process. We're just getting that all together, so stay tuned for that. Also, I have 2 groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal, and the Angel Rocker Tribe for many of the spiritual things we talked about tonight. Also, please stay tuned on Thursday, because I have my other show, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed. I co-host it with my good friend, David Hansel. He has an amazing TikTok. He answers a lot of questions, many of the things we talked about tonight. And I hope to see you there. But thank you, Faye and Roger, for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
It's been awesome.
We will have you back on. We will have you back on again, and I send you all so much love and light. I hope you'll be back next Monday here, and also on Thursday. Okay, take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Go to our website, Latino Psychic Visions.
There you go. Okay. Anything else you want to throw in?
No.
Okay. I always let my guests go first, and then after, right, you think about, what did I forget to say. Hang on, I'm just going to end things.
Thank you
Love
for
you all.
having us.
Thank you very
Good,
much.
good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be. We'll see you on Thursday.